The United Auto Workers Union has filed federal labor charges against Donald Trump and Elon Musk based on this clip right here.
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it.
Now, when I hear labor charges, I wake up like a sleeper agent, because if you've been following this channel for a long time, you know that I have a lot of experience with U.S. labor laws. So let's jump right in. Monday evening, Elon Musk hosted former President Donald Trump on his platform X. You know what? Just stop. Just stop. I cannot do this. It's not X. It's Twitter. It's universally known as Twitter. We're going with Twitter.
Okay.
So Trump went on Twitter for an exclusive interview. Now, I didn't watch this interview because I was doing literally anything else. But a million people did. And one of those people, apparently, was the UAW president, Shawn Fain. Really, more realistically, someone who is aware of the U.S. labor laws was watching and alerted the UAW. One way or another, the UAW was apprised of the conversation that you heard at the beginning of this video and filed charges with the National Labor Relations Board, accusing Trump and Musk of adopting statements suggesting he would fire employees engaged in protected, concerted activity, including striking. Now, Elon Musk is famously anti-union at his multiple companies. Several articles report that workers have attempted to unionize at Tesla at least 3 times, but were beaten back by the company's aggressive tactics, even going as far as to offer factory workers stock options. Tesla has been cited by the NLRB multiple times for doing things like interrogating employees and disciplining or otherwise discriminating against employees because they support unionizing, and prohibiting employees from wearing shirts bearing union logos and insignias. But not this logo. Trump, despite inviting Teamsters Union President Sean O'Brien to speak at the Republican National Convention recently, signed 3 executive orders during his presidency that curbed the power of unions. So you may disagree, but it's not that shocking to hear what these two have to say about unions. Back to the law. The National Labor Relations Act was passed by Congress in 1935, and its purpose is to protect workplace democracy by providing employees at private sector workplaces the fundamental right to seek better working conditions and designation of representation without fear of retaliation. And here's how it does that. The NLRA created, essentially out of whole cloth, the right for employees to band together and collectively bargain for terms and conditions of their employment. If you were raised in a family with a unionized employee in your home, this seems like a part of the air that you breathe, like this is how it is and this is how it's always been. But that's not so. There are large parts of this country where there are very few unions, and many people are quite frankly ignorant about how unions work and what they do. But the short explanation is that they allow an entire workforce to have the ability to bargain as equals or almost as equals with management at their place of employment in order to be treated better. Now, this right is a creature of statute. It never existed before the passage of the explicit law that created these exact rights, meaning they didn't have unions in merry old England 500 years ago, which is when most of the ideas of our laws here in the US came into being. And without the NLRA, a company could ignore the demands of anyone purporting to speak on behalf of a group of employees, or worse yet, simply fire the agitators. Now, if my simple descriptions of this creature that is a union sound pretty dreamy, then well, honestly, you're not thinking like the owner of a business, because union workers almost always make more money than non-union workers, and the cost of labor erodes the profit margins of the business where the labor is organized into unions. So generally speaking, management hates is a strong word, but unions, and vice versa. So the NLRA provides the rules around unionizing, how workers in unions are treated, how the negotiations can go, etc. Here's the TLDR. The NLRA is very technical, and it's, well, it's full of a lot of rules. But the focus of today's video is the NLRA's protection of striking workers. For that, we turn to Section 7, known as Section 157 of the Act, which reads, employees shall have the right to self-organization, to form, join, or assist labor organizations, to bargain collectively through representatives of their own choosing, and to engage in other concerted activities for the purpose of collective bargaining or other mutual aid or protection, and shall also have the right to refrain from any or all of such activities except to the extent that such right may be affected by an agreement requiring membership in a labor organization, as a condition of employment as authorized in Section 8. Whew, okay, wow. There's a lot to unpack there, and we can't do it all here in this video, and we don't need to do it all. What you need to take away from Section 157 is that if a strike is performed in the correct way, according to the rules of the statute, then the striking workers may not be fired. Well, obviously strikes are incredibly disruptive. I mean, they can functionally melt a business down to nothing, which means that we need cool heads on both sides of the negotiation table. Because killing or even weakening the business is simply not a good outcome for the workers, to say nothing for management. But management typically has a larger war chest for weathering a strike than do the rank and file members of the union. Strikes can be costly to the business, but they can be all but unbearable for the workers. In fact, a few weeks ago, I was visiting with a former NFL player who was in the league in 1982. All summer long, the players knew that they were going to go on strike, but they showed up for training camp anyway, and they went through all of that grueling work, and then they played their first games of the season, and then, and only then, did they go on strike. And why would they do that? Because they needed that first game check in order to make it through the strike, because they hadn't been paid any game checks since the last December. The NLRA gives the workers the right to strike, but it doesn't pay them any money while they're out. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck, a strike could break you. Advantage owners. So now let's take that law and apply it to Trump and Musk's statements in Monday's interview. Here it is again, just to refresh your memory.
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it.
And that was on Monday. So then on Tuesday, wow, okay, that escalated quickly. The UAW filed a complaint with the NLRB, which is the administrative authority that hears claims that the NLRA has been violated, and they were accusing Musk of coercion. But don't take my word for it. Here it is in their own words. Within the last 6 months, the CEO of the employer, Elon Musk, interfered with, restrained, or coerced employees in the exercise of their Section 7 rights, including but not limited to making and or adopting statements suggesting he would fire employees engaged in protected, concerted activity, included striking. Okay, so the allegation is that Musk made statements or adopted statements suggesting that he would fire striking employees. Okay, hold on. Let's just play this clip one more time.
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it.
Okay, what do you think? The NLRB is going to have to investigate this accusation. And quite frankly, the extent of their investigation will be similar to what you just did with me just now, which is just listening to the clip a few times. Here is my prediction. You get some back and forth between Musk's lawyers. He has lots of them, and they're very well paid despite not being unionized. And of course, they want to get that cash, so they're happy to mix it up with the investigators at the NLRB. And then the long and the short of it will be that they will all agree to the entry of a consent order in which Musk explains/retracts that he doesn't fire people for striking, that he will abide by the NLRA, and then he maybe pay a very, very small fine, like $5,000, and that'll be all. And look, maybe $5,000 is a lot to you and me, but from time to time, Musk is the wealthiest person alive, so it's not even a slap on the wrist. Now, let's switch gears and talk about the alleged charges against Trump. And I say alleged because I haven't been able to find this filing anywhere. Do you have it? If so, please send it to me. I mean, the UAW's own press release states that the UAW has filed federal labor charges against disgraced billionaires Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And in response to that, Trump's campaign senior advisor, Brian Hughes, put out a statement saying this frivolous lawsuit is a shameless political stunt intended to erode President Trump's overwhelming support among America's workers, which is confusing for so many reasons. So look, this isn't a lawsuit, it's a charge. But even weirder than that, Trump is not an employer. Under the First Amendment, a non-employer cannot be barred by the NLRB from talking bad about striking workers at some other billionaire's factories. It wouldn't surprise me if the press release from the UAW is inaccurate or at least imprecise, because anyone signing their name to a charge alleging that Trump is the owner of a factory is, kind of making a fool of himself. But speaking of fools, Trump's press agent calling the supposed charge a frivolous lawsuit is, at best, weird wordsmanship, because it's not a lawsuit and Trump is not an employer. People, we need to focus right now. And now all of this feels so anticlimactic, doesn't it? What do you think? Drop your pro se opinion down below in the comments. Do you think after 3 or potentially 4 citations, Musk should face bigger consequences? What do you think of Trump's stance on union busting? Let me know what you think, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I will be back very, very soon and I don't want you to miss it. But not this logo. But not this logo. I'm discriminating against my logo.